Hi, I'm Faith Zimmerman. I am an architect and I have a practice with my twin sister Hope, and we've been doing this for 27 years. Um, and we've been relatively successful with it now. And when I first heard of Paula, I was, my life was good by most people's standards, even by my standards. Um, I was married. I've been married for 28 years. You know, I get to work with my sister. We get to transform people's lives. I, feel like my life has been blessed. But I always felt like there was this little piece missing, just something that the spark, there was just something that wasn't there. And when I saw some of Paula's stuff, it just made me kind of yearn for that. And it's like I wanted to have that spark to really take my life to the next level. Didn't feel like it was everything I knew it could be and everything I wanted it to be. And so that was why I um, gave myself permission and have Paula help me do that. So when I joined Paula's program, the Wild Women Unleashed, I always looked for, like in joining this program, especially at the beginning, I was looking for the knowledge of how to make it better. And it's like, I have to, anytime I'm going to implement something, I have to read 15 books and learn everything there is to about it, and then maybe have time to implement it later. And so one of my concerns here was that, oh my gosh, it's this program and there's this many calls and there's all these things, and I'm gonna have to spend so much of my time. I'm gonna have even less free time than I already do. So one of the things that going through this program, I did it kind of on my own terms. There was points where I felt like I wasn't doing enough, or I should be doing this, or I should be doing that. And Paula kept saying, wherever you are, whatever you're doing is right. It's perfect just for you. Do it your way, do it on your terms, do what you need. And I guess one of the big things that I learned doing this is that I always operate from here, from my head. And I really needed to learn how to operate more from here, from my heart, just to really kind of trust myself, go with my intuition, listen to my heart, and really do it the way that it works for me, which isn't necessarily exactly the same way it will look for somebody else. When I started, I always felt like I needed permission from the rest of the world, from my husband, from wherever, to do things. And I learned that that permission could only come from me, from my heart, from within. And it's not that, oh, I don't care what anybody else thinks, or I'm disconnected from other people. In fact, I feel more connected, but I'm not looking for validation, I guess, from others outside of me, because I know and I fully feel that I am enough. Me is, it's what I am, and that it's perfect, it's fine. And, not that we don't still strive to be better, and always learn what we like more, what we want more. But I don't feel like I'm struggling so much. It's more, minor course adjustments and that kind of thing, but that I'm really kind of at peace with myself. If things seem so much easier, it's like flow and ease. And in my personal life, in my business, definitely, I was working a lot of hours, and one of the things I really wanted to do was incorporate more self-care into my life. And, I've been, I'm careful with what I eat, and I exercise, and I've been doing that for a long time. But I felt like I wanted to do more, and like adding yoga and meditation and that kind of thing. But it's like, oh my gosh, I just don't have time to. And I found now that I have added those in. Our business hasn't suffered at all. If anything, we're doing even better than we already had been. I feel less like I'm a rat on a treadmill. I feel less like I'm banging against my head against the wall and like I'm forcing it. It's more that I'm allowing it, and it's easier, and it's just more fun. And then I also feel like, so I'm adding those things. I have added those things into my life, which I really, really enjoy doing. But then I also feel like I have more time, and I give myself permission to, go out and take a walk every afternoon in the middle of the workday, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, hoping I go out and we walk every single day. And no, we still have time to get our work done, or maybe we even have more time to get our work done. And so it's been awesome. And I feel like my life has changed so dramatically, but it has changed so little. But at the same time, like anybody looking from the outside looking in, it's like, yeah, okay, you're still doing the same thing. You still got your practice, you're still married, you still got this, you're still making decent money, probably making a little bit more than I had been. But it's not like, okay, I got earth-shattering amounts of money, I got a new spouse or any of that kind of thing. But I feel so much like my life has changed, like turned upside down, even though it just was just a little change that was a huge, huge change. What I really needed was more the pieces with the just the allowing, receiving, that kind of thing, the having fun, the sensuality, all of that kind of piece. So the feminine, sensuality, sexuality. It's like I've been extremely, extremely repressed my entire life. And one of the things that I started doing at fairly early on, like way in the very beginning of the program, probably within the first month of this 9-month program, was I started sleeping naked, which I'd never done. And just the idea of it was just kind of, scary isn't quite the right word, but it was just because I have always been so repressed. And it's like, okay, I want to be more liberated, less repressed. And it's like, and the main reason that I started doing it was because I found that if I did that, when I woke up in the morning, it would remind me in the morning, because I woke up naked. And so, it's like, okay, laying in bed with no clothes on, it was kind of the first thing that I recognized when I woke up. And it's like, oh yeah, it was a reminder to be the person I wanted to be less repressed, to more go with my heart, go less with my head, be less inhibited, that's really the word, to just be less inhibited. And, so to me, it kind of sort of symbolizes the whole program for me, is being able to sleep naked comfortably and not be completely inhibited about it, and actually enjoy it. It's a great thing. So one other thing that I just want to add, just about the program, the group aspect of it is really important, and it helps witnessing other women going through their journeys, even though most of them, their journeys were quite different than mine. But just being able to witness it, and having a place that you can go and be seen and be heard, and also that you can witness how other people are doing it. And it's like, oh my gosh, she was amazing how she did that. I want to apply that in my life to this situation, just like the nuggets that you can get from other people's epiphanies, that you can roll into your own as well. And just the feeling of support and all of that as you're figuring it out and transforming and doing it, I think is just so valuable as a group program. I've changed my definition of success. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be, I'm always working, I'm always striving. I can be laying back and having fun, or just resting or relaxing or whatever, and not always striving. And it's like, okay, I'm not lazy. It's like it used to be, okay, you're either working or you're lazy. And it's like, okay, I'm not lazy. I'm taking care of myself. I'm allowing, and by allowing myself that, it also allows me to be better and nicer and whatever with everybody else. So it's to their benefit too. Just that, the more that you're in tune with yourself and you like yourself and you're coming from your heart, the more you can give that to other people who you meet as well. It's like, obviously we're in a very masculine dominated industry and whatever, but we're coming from the heart, and very few architects do that. And it is so resonating with our clients, or the people who it resonates with become our clients, where they want to work with us. They said, I could tell how much you love what you do, and that's why I had to work with you. And it's like awesome. They feel like we really get them and we understand them, and all of that, and we don't tell them you have to do this and you have to do that. And it's like, and just coming from the heart instead of from the head, it's just huge. And it makes the business easier, but it also makes our clients appreciate us so much more, which is, it's like a double whammy in a good way. And a lot of the stuff that you talk about with the, okay, all the experts are telling me I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do my email campaign this way, I have to close my sale this way. And you're saying, well, screw it, I don't have to. I can do it. It didn't feel right to me, so I didn't do it. And we're doing more of that now too. And the defining of what success means to you. It's like, okay, it doesn't have to be by the number of dollars you make, although that is kind of nice when you're making more, but it's not the only gauge. And that was one of my resistances, I guess, to business coaching for most of my career. The business coach we have now isn't just money, but it's still, it's like how you gauge your success is almost always from here. It's the money, it's this, it's that, it's all of these benchmarks. And it's not I just feel so awesome, I feel light, I feel ease. It's I smile when I come to work. It's like, oh, I get to meditate at 2:00 in the afternoon in my conference room if I want to. And, to have that, and it's like, okay, I didn't get $5,000 this week, but okay, well, maybe I'll get it next week, and not really worrying about it so much. And not gauging my success just by somebody else's standards. And I think that's just, yeah. And you model that, you like when you talk about it and whatever, and in the coaching, and, it's like, yeah, and they told me I had to do that. And I said, screw it, I didn't feel like doing it. So I didn't, and so I just scrapped the whole thing and I started over, and I'm not doing things the way they say you have to do it. I'm doing it the way it feels right for me. And just you modeling that to everybody, I think is really beneficial. Yeah, when I was thinking about doing the program, it was something that it just was so appealing to me. I totally was like, oh, this would be awesome. But then it's like, oh, but I have to tell my husband that I'm spending some of our money on it. And so kind of get his buy-in, not necessarily, but enough that had to at least get him to acknowledge that, since we don't have separate money, that I'm spending some of our money on just me. And so one of the things that this whole program did for me was, it's like, okay, I'm worth it to do this for me. I can spend things that aren't necessarily like going to the household or to whatever, that it can be just for me, totally for me, and for no other reason, because they're fun and it'll enhance my life, and I'll enjoy it. And it doesn't have to always be, it'll make my husband's life better, or it'll make my kids' life better at the same time. It could be just for me. I just feel like I'm in such an awesome place right now that it's that I wouldn't have been if I hadn't done that 9-month journey. Just the last thought that um, recognizing how much it's an inside job, just how so totally important that is, and just the allowing and living with ease and with flow, it's just so much better of a way to live, you know, coming from your heart rather than your head. It's just so awesome. And I thank Paula for that every day, because it just makes my life so much better. I did a 5-degree shift to get just the most amazingly differently awesome results. So thank you, Paula.